For more than 5 decades, Syria has been under American sanctions. Syria hasn't changed its political positions, nor has the American administrations changed their convictions about the futility of economic sanctions. Since 2011, a new package of sanctions has been in force, expanding year after year throughout the world until the so-called Caesar Law project appeared. These current sanctions, which are expected to be adopted soon, might be the toughest for a country that has faced a catastrophic, multifaceted war for 8 years and doesn't control the most important part of its wealth and natural resources. Due to these sanctions, the US threat of sinking ships carrying fuel to Syria and the occupation of Syria's energy resources by the US-backed militias, Syria's oil supplies from abroad were affected by about 80%. President of the Syrian Chamber of Industry, Faris Shihabi, told Al Akhbar newspaper that sanctions will have a negative impact on the real estate and energy in particular, as well as on the banking sector in all its forms. Preliminary unofficial estimates of Syria's foreign sanctions losses reach about $75 billion by the end of 2018. The main goal of these sanctions is to impoverish ordinary people into extent which their financial stability is no more dependent on the government. The sanctions may also hit the popular base of Damascus and may urge them to resort to any alternatives, regardless of how bad they are. If you go to Syria now, you will realize that only the middle class, if any, left, and the poor are suffering from the shortage of energy sources. Ironically, places like restaurants, homes of the rich, and the officials are always warm. Even in the ministries, offices of the workers are cold as Siberia, and the offices of the ministers are warm. The USA and its allies are enabling this and doubling the suffering of ordinary people. If this is not a crime against humanity, I don't know what it is. Don't take my words on the evilness of sanctions. Take the words of the former UN Special Rapporteur to Venezuela, Alfred de Zayas, who has told The Independent recently that the USA's sanctions on Venezuela are illegal and could amount to crimes against humanity under international law. De Zayas also said that sanctions on Venezuela fall most heavily on the poorest people in society, demonstrably cause death through food and medicine shortages, lead to violations of human rights, and are aimed at coercing economic change in a sister democracy. De Zayas concluded saying, modern-day economic sanctions and blockades are comparable with medieval sieges of towns. 21st century sanctions attempt to bring not just a town, but sovereign countries to their knees. Hands off Syria, hands off Venezuela.